Hello everybody out there on the internet. I am Them Watch Reviews, and today I have a Sugess Sea Stern. Let me just turn off that light, it might be a bit easier to see. And this watch here I believe is based on the Zenith El Primero. It's based on the Lupin series that Zenith did, with the quite eye-catching, they call it a ZORRO dial on the Sugess website. But let's be honest, it is a homage watch, so it's for a homage. It's not dead on exactly like the Zenith one, but I mean for the low price of, I think it was about $192. It's definitely very nice. So it's a 37mm, I believe, manual wind chronograph, and it's got the Seagull, what is it, ST1902? I don't know if you'll be able to see that too clearly. Just there. I've not got it ticking at the moment, I've not wound it, but this timepiece certainly feels pretty nice for the price point. It is sapphire crystal. I'm not sure if it's got any anti-reflective coating, but it has got the dome, which gives it that more vintage, more premium look. I always prefer a dome crystal over a box or anything similar. The chronograph function works pretty well. It's obviously not, like say, a flyback, so you've got to pause it and then restart, flicks back to the start. The strap itself, the bracelet itself, is you know, it's basic. It's basic as it comes. Your sort of classic 3 links. I do appreciate that on the bracelet it has, again, I've not got great lighting. It has the arrows that signal obviously where to push the actual push pins out, which I appreciate because it's not always too clear, especially when you're quite new to the hobby. I will say the Seagull movement, obviously based on earlier movements that came before it, it's very pretty. It's actually a lot prettier than the standard sort of NH35 automatics that you see so often on the market. It's actually my first proper manual wind watch. I have had and held and been in contact with other manuals quite often, like say like a Hamilton field watch, but I would say it really is quite a stunning movement. And I would say that I think that the finishing on this watch is really nice. So say here on the lugs, it's highly polished, but then it's brushed on the top of the case. Let's see if we can peel off this sticker. I did take most of them off in advance. But let's see about this crown. I will say these stickers aren't easy to take off. So the crown has the, interestingly, I can't get the sticker off fully, but it is the Sea Stern logo on the crown, which is quite nice. Don't often see that. It's not a screw down, but what I have noticed is, I think these are quite common on Seagull. When I wind it, I can feel a bit of a sort of pushback as I wind, which I actually quite like. I like that bit of resistance. You can feel that it is, in fact, actual like movement. It doesn't feel so cheap that I could break it from just turning it. So I will also show, I'm not too sure if that is clear, just there. It has got the classic sort of like 5 or 6 micro adjusts, but it's not like a push micro adjust. You obviously have to take out the link yourself and then reapply it. So yeah, not too clear if it's got anti-reflective coating. What I will say is that it looks really impressive. The dial looks impressive. There's sort of like a sunblush effect on the subdials. But the one in the black part of the dial is more muted. Definitely takes the light very, very well. And what else to say about this is, quite interestingly, the box that has arrived with it says C-Stern Sugess. So C-Stern is the micro brand you see so often on Aliexpress that does sort of homage, almost, let's be honest, complete copies of Doxa, but people do say they're high quality. So let's have a quick look in here. I will say that I was quite surprised that it provides a strap with it. It's sort of like a canvas effect, but I'll be honest, it feels more like cheaper plastic. It does have quick release on the actual strap, which is nice. The stitching, can't see if I can get that to focus. I'll be honest, the stitching seems cheap, poorer quality, there we go. But I did notice that, and I don't think I can get this to fully focus, my camera isn't incredible, they have actually inscribed the logo on the buckle there, which you don't often see on these cheaper micro brands, and that is something that is appreciated. And they provided it with, although I have my own, it is great to have. It is provided with the tool to remove links, and which I have done, and it even provides the tool to access the I'm forgetting the word now, but the pins inside to release the bracelet and put on the strap. So it's actually a pretty comprehensive little box, quite a posh little box, I'll say, as well, for a brand like this. I've had definitely worse from much bigger brands like Tissot, Seiko. Their boxes are crappy, is probably an accurate sentence. This material here, the sleeve that holds the warranty and the instructions, feels quite premium. I will say the instructions are almost entirely in Chinese characters, which isn't too helpful, but if you need instructions on how to use a manual watch, you shouldn't really be buying one. But the box, yeah, it feels premium. It does feel like kind of like to provide oversight in case they mix up the boxes. They've jammed both names onto it, but it's fairly impressive. There it is again. So let's get that chronograph running again. See it turning there. And then we'll see a flyback. Obviously not actually a flyback movement, but I definitely appreciate it. Okay. There we go. Very pretty. I'll see about popping this onto my wrist now though. So here it is on the wrist. It certainly looks very, very premium. Imagine if I had a cuff on right now. I think that's quite a slim watch for a manual, for a hand wind, for a chronograph. And I think it would look great against the cuff, because it is a very smart watch. It's a sports watch, let's be honest. It's a chronograph. It's a copy, homage, whatever you want to call it, of the NFL Primero for their Lupin final edition. But it certainly is sporty, it certainly is classy. I think it provides a great look. Okay, so now that we've reviewed the timepiece, you've seen it on the wrist, we need to decide where on our tier list we're going to put it. So I think as a timepiece for $192, which is a very specific number, but I think a pretty affordable, pretty great number, for a timepiece that is certainly of high quality. I don't know of longevity, I can't speak to that. I'll have to wear it for a couple of years. Obviously cheaper automatic, cheaper manual wind movements you have to take with a certain quite large pinch of salt, but I think I'd probably put this right here in the A tier. I think we could expect better value from a higher price point, but for the price point you get a lot of bang for your buck. It certainly is a something considering the S tier, but it is an Aliexpress brand, and you know, we can go on to bigger and better watches, that's for sure. Thank you for watching this video. If you've watched even 5 minutes into it, or if you've watched all the way through, I really appreciate it. Like, follow, subscribe, give me a comment. All of that is much appreciated. Thank you.